Hi, friends. This is Sheryl from Tech Tutor Innovate, the tech coach for tutors. And I'm just thinking I should have closed my brand new curtains that I put up. But I'd like to say hi to everybody out there. And if you're watching, make sure that you chime in the comments and let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay. But I'm here today to talk to you about some common challenges with some effective solutions or strategies that you might have when you're tutoring online. Now, this doesn't mean that you won't experience these same things when you're tutoring in person. So you're really going, I probably should have said, and I think I did retitle this one because I was just doing a Facebook Live about the same topic. That you're going to have problems no matter what, and nothing that you can't overcome. I mean, you're a seasoned professional after all, right? You're fine. But some things to think about, especially when you're tutoring online. Okay. So the very first one that I wanted to talk to you about was technical issues. Okay. And then I am referring to the technical issues that you might have with your device, perhaps, or your internet connection. And what are you going to do to solve that? Because this has happened to me more than once where I am minutes away from hopping online and they do some sort of construction, or they turn the power off, or the power grid got used up too fast. And so they're going to slow us down. So they're going to turn off the power for a while. Do you have another solution? Do you have a phone? Do you have a tablet? Do you have something that you can log into to run your lessons? So really think about that. And then as far as your interconnectivity, if your device is running slowly, is there a way for you to plug it in so that you're wired in? Can you sit closer? Can you get some sort of a booster to boost your internet connection in your house? So really be thinking about that, especially if you're going to do this often. It's a real struggle when things are running slow. Or do you just need to get a faster computer? Or do you need to clear your cache or something that might be restricting you? Something else, another technical issue might be software problems, whether it's the physical software on your device, or it is just you're going to go and use a link. And this has happened to me before where I use a specific software, and then for some reason, don't know why, they're updating it. And maybe they sent me an email about it and I didn't see it, or maybe I forgot about it. So do you have a backup plan, and how are you going to handle that? That's why I love using Google Classroom, because I have multiple links are already in there and I can just go, bing, I'm going to grab this one instead. So that's a conversation for another day. As a matter of fact, I just got done with three sessions of Google Classroom boot camp. And I think people were really surprised at what you could do with it. So I'll be having another one of those in probably the end of July. I'm going to be in Chicago for most of the month of July, maybe the first part of August. So make sure that you come back to this channel and check to see if I'm going to have anything else out there. So, we talked about internet connectivity, software problems, and then I do want to talk to you about your device limitations, because maybe you're trying to use a really old tablet to teach off of, and you can't download anything on it anymore. Or maybe your computer, maybe the keyboard works, but your screen no longer works, kind of like what I have going on, and maybe you need to upgrade and get another screen. So there's some things that could happen, and that you just have to kind of plan for. So when we're talking about planning, is it like a financial plan? You need to come up with some more money so that you can afford something? Or is it just, I'm going to switch over to my phone because I know my phone has a better internet connection. I have 5G on that, and for some reason my computer's not picking it up. I don't know. I highly doubt that would happen, but maybe it could. So really think about some of those, and then coming up with those solutions, like making sure that you have high-speed internet, making sure that you've turned your computer off, or your tablet or your phone, and you've rebooted it so that the system is ready to go. We really want to be aware of that if we're an online tutor. Now, that doesn't mean that this couldn't happen to you if you're teaching in person, because maybe the software system isn't going to work that day because you didn't reboot your computer, and you've got too much cache going on, or you need to dump the cache, or whatever happens. So be thinking about that. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about engagement and motivation for both yourself and for your students. Okay. So one of the things that I find incredibly difficult to deal with is outside distractions. How about you? If you're watching now or later, put in the comments what kind of distractions are created when you're trying to teach either in person or online. Right now, I'm going to stick with just online. The distraction could be the physical surroundings. They might be meeting with me in the house, but the little brother is running around and screaming, or the little sister is watching the television, or the parents are cooking and speaking very loudly. So you don't hesitate to say, hey, I noticed there's a lot of noise in the background. Let's see if we can ask your brother to turn the TV down, or your little sister to, maybe move away from you a little bit. Or could you just bring mom and dad over here? I would like to have just a quick little chat with them. Hey, I'm so glad. It's so good to see you. I noticed that your child is paying more attention to your conversation than to me. I hate to ask you this, but could he move, or could we do something about that? And they're always very, very kind and considerate about it, because they didn't even realize that it was a problem. So asking might be a strategy to fix that. But if it continually happens, make sure that you have that conversation with the families. Hey, this is getting in the way of your child's learning, and I don't want to waste your time or their time. Okay, so have a conversation about that. Okay, lack of interest is also a real problem. If you've got a child that just doesn't want to show up to the meetings, they just don't want to do it. Maybe it's because they're busy doing something that they shouldn't be doing. So maybe they say, oh yeah, they're logged into the meeting, but they logged in 15 minutes early and they've already timed out. Okay. Or they're actually playing a video game instead of being in with you. So my solution is to have my phone handy. I just grab my phone and I text the parents and I say, hey, I think so-and-so might be playing a game, or hey, so-and-so's not in our meeting yet. Could you check to see what they're doing? And they're like, oh, they were playing a game. I'm really sorry. Because it's technology. We've got the world at our fingertips. So these things are going to happen. And that, I think, makes it a real challenge for us. So having that open dialogue is really important. And then the motivation for whether you're in person or online, if the student has been at school all day long and they have struggled the entire day because, you're working with them to build up their confidence and fill in the gaps, what are you doing now to kind of ease into the tutoring, because it's going to be hard for them? It's already something that they're struggling with. What are you doing? Are you taking a couple minutes to talk to them? And maybe don't say, how was school? I like to use the term, what was the best thing about your day today? And then it's not about school. And then they could just tell me, oh, yeah, on the bus, I got to play a card game with a friend, or at recess, we played this game, or I saw my friend at lunch today, or my teacher gave me a star, or I was really happy because I got to see my parents tonight when I got home. Take some time to have those dialogues. It's really important. And this kind of leads into the next part with communication, but it's really important that your child student feels supported. And that's going to look different for the different types of people that you're working with. But even adults want that. So take some time to have that, even if they're short conversations, because that can be very motivating. Another thing that can be very motivating is playing a game. So if they are really stressed out, it really doesn't matter what grade, how old, everybody loves either, a word game, a quick math game. And I shouldn't say everybody, but you can make it fun. Come up with something that they like to do, or even if it's just journaling, give them a blank sheet of paper. And I personally use Google Docs or the Cami app and have them type in there, finish this sentence. And then they might just take off, and there you go. You're not hurting them. It could be a little bit off topic, but you're allowing them to kind of end that part of their day and move into the next part of their day. And I don't know if you're meeting with them for a half hour, if you're meeting with them for 45 minutes or an hour, and I don't know what that's going to look like in your schedule, but I can say that it will pay off dramatically, especially with reluctant learners, because when they know that you like and care about them, they're going to be motivated to come. So take the time to build that relationship. Okay, the third thing, and that I kind of hinted on that, was communications and barriers. And one thing that I think sometimes happens is we say yes to students that we think we can support, and then we get in the middle of whatever it is, and we find out that there could be a literal communication barrier. This could be something in terms of being bilingual. If you could be bilingual, but maybe you're not bilingual or multilingual in their language, and so maybe they are of German heritage, or that is the language spoken in their house, and you only know Spanish and English. That could be a barrier. And so sometimes we have to say, if it's really not going to work, we just have to say it's okay to not continue to work with them. And then you just tell the parents or tell the child, I am so sorry. I really thought I could help you, but I feel like this is getting in the way. And I don't think that I'm the best fit for your child. I would really like to, and then you just say, I'd like to work with you for another 2 weeks while you're actively seeking a tutor, or I would like to look into my pool of tutor friends and see if I can find somebody who might be able to help you. So you don't have to walk away from them right away, but do think about that. If you find yourself in a situation where it's really not working, it's okay to say it's not working and be honest. They're going to respect you for that. And it's not going to be as challenging if you can find the right person with the right fit. So that type of communication barrier can be a real problem. Another communication barrier could be that you're not sending home enough information to the parents regularly enough. So are you sending a text? Are you sitting down at the end of the lesson to have just a quick conversation with the parents? Are you emailing them? In my case, I always email a report. Sometimes when I do back-to-back classes, I don't quite have enough time to do that, but I take good notes. I like to do it at the end of the lesson while they play maybe a game for like a minute and a half. And believe it or not, a minute to a minute and a half is a lot longer than you think it is. And I can quickly send a quick message as to how things went. If I need a longer time, that's not going to work for me, but I can start the message. And because I use TutorBird, it makes it really easy for me to do that. So something to consider. All right. And then let's think about flexibility of scheduling, or how you're going to schedule it. Whether your lessons, whether you're in person or online, how flexible can you be? How flexible do you want them to be? So setting clear communication about what you're willing to do and not willing to do will take the guesswork out of that. When I first started, I would be like, oh yeah, sure. Let's see if I've got time on whatever day. And I was willing to tutor any day of the week. Now I'm not. I need a life outside of my business. So Monday through Thursdays, those are my prime times. That's when I meet with students. And then I will occasionally meet with a student on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday. I don't like to do it. I've never charged more. I know some tutors will charge more. Well, I'm happy to meet with you, but it'll be an additional fee. I wouldn't do that. But I just think that just letting them know that that's your family time, or that's your downtime or whatever, I think it's important to let them know that, and that this is when you would prefer. You can really set that standard for what you want for yourself and for your business. And then also along the lines of communication, instead of it being a barrier, let it be a strategy where you let them know in writing, what do you expect of yourself as the tutor, the child or the student that you're working with, and then the family. And be upfront and honest about how you're accepting payments and how you're accepting, that last minute phone call that they can't be there, or that last minute text or email. Are you going to charge for that? Don't let that be a surprise to them or to you. Really think about that. What I do in the Tech Hub for Tutors is I create content to help tutors manage their online tutoring business. And I specialize in Google Classroom, but I also am very interested in things that are Google apps, and YouTube is clearly something that kind of fits that, because in the G Suite for Google, you can go in there and you have your YouTube app. And so one of the things I've been doing is I have been really focusing in on the analytics of my YouTubes. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing in a free 45-minute event. I'm going to be sharing that content out. It's in the description. So it's a 45-minute free YouTube course where we're going to look at some of my shorts and some of my long form, and talking a little bit about what I noticed about it, and really encouraging you to use YouTube to grow your reach and share your content. And then the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a deeper dive. That's a paid version. It's just $25 US. You can come one night or both nights. The information is also in the link down below. And then you can do a little bit deeper dive. How do you set one up? How do you do these videos? How do you add the links? What's on the back end of all of that? So if you're somebody who's very reluctant and want somebody to walk you through that, I am more than happy to do that. So I am also going to encourage you to look in the description. If you would like to get weekly emails from me with more information about things that I'm learning along my journey and am very happy to share with you, you can sign up for my free emails by going to my profile page, and you can unsubscribe at any time. So you do not need to stay in there all the time. You just come and go as you like. All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I am actually going to go and get changed into some comfy clothes because I'm going to go and take a little drive down to Lincoln, Nebraska and see some family members this afternoon. So you guys, as usual, make it a great day and keep the learning going. Thanks for tuning in.